UK boxing blog coming right back at you. Right, the dust has settled. UK boxing blogger is now going to talk real shit on Mayweather Pacquiao. Right, first of all, I'm just going to summarize a little situation, right? Two guys in their prime should have been fighting in 2009, 2010. When two guys that are at Superman status, like they were, Floyd was like Floyd Mayweather in his prime, fast, quick, in the beginning of the height of his fame, at the peak of his powers. Manny Pacquiao, an explosive, dynamic, spiteful fighter in his prime, bringing up the speed to welterweight with the power, with the endurance and the movement, the consistent movement of it, the bouncing in and out. He was on fire, right? They should have collided at that point. At that point, it would have been Superman status fight. At that point, both guys should have felt like super fucking man. And at that point, Floyd Mayweather ducked the fuck out of Manny Pacquiao. Don't give it all this bullshit, foresight, fucking hindsight, all this bullshit. Well, foresight, man. Like, all you Floyd Mayweather fans want to stick to this shit. The simple fact of the matter is that Floyd was that scared of Manny Pacquiao that he had to start trying to accuse people of taking fucking drugs. There'd never been no issue like that before, and then Floyd had never made no issue about that before. All of a sudden, he's shit scared of Manny Pacquiao, and quite rightly so. Instead of being a man and just fighting him, he started this smear campaign. And you can all say whatever, that was completely out of the textbook, out of the norm, and the pure suggestion of that at the time was complete bullshit. It divided lots of people, and it pissed off a lot of people that Floyd even dare ask for something like that. He went on to campaign like it's the norm. So 4 years, 5 years down the line, we could all sort of say, yeah, he's doing a good thing. The simple fact of the matter, he don't give a shit. He's got fighters in his stable that are fucking drug cheaters. He don't give a shit about the fighters that he pretends it cares about go into world title fights like Ishe Smith, and they're not getting fucking Olympic-style drug testing. So he don't give a shit, does he? Cold, hard facts of the matter. That's been a fucking campaign to cover his coward ass for fucking 5 years, man, all these drug testing. He don't give a shit. Plus, you've got guys like Phil Davis and other UFC fighters like Chris Weidman. They don't give a shit. They fought guys on TRT, known steroid users. They say if they have to look in the mirror and know that they need steroids to come and face me, when the going gets tough in that ring, they're going to quit like a bitch. That's the kind of mind frame of a true champion. That's not the kind of mind frame of Floyd Mayweather. He used that as a way to run away from Manny Pacquiao for all these years. Right. So let's just get to the point. Pacquiao, yeah, he come back nice. Showed what a true champion he is, man, to come back of a knockout and lackluster performances and stale fights over the last few years. He showed true heart to come back and regain some form that some other fighters would never be able to recover from a KO like that and come back to the level he has. Right, great. So they're old now. They're both past their primes. Pacquiao more so. And the Floyd fans, who not 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, was saying there's no point in the fight. Pacquiao's finished. He's past it. And Pacquiao had to fight his way to the point of proving that he was not completely past it, as everybody has suggested, especially all the Floyd fans who didn't want him anywhere near Pacquiao. So you're contradicting yourself when you're trying to say that this fight, Pacquiao, is like, it means everything to legacy, because you were the same guys who said Manny Pacquiao was done 2 years ago. So fuck yourselves when you try and say that Pacquiao is still in his prime, because you're talking shit, right? But Pacquiao forced this fight. Pacquiao deserves the props for this fight. He's the one who got himself to a level again that he could even be considered to challenging Floyd after the smear campaign to try and avoid Pacquiao on the back of Pacquiao's bad forms by Floyd. Right, so he then pushed and used the media and begged and all the propaganda for this fight. And finally, when Floyd's own fans and everybody got to Floyd, even the networks and all of that, come together to get on Floyd and force the fight, Pacquiao should be getting the praise for this fight. So, they get into the fight. That fight is way too close. This is my breakdown of it. How the fuck can you win a fight when I say Floyd Mayweather started off brilliantly in the first round, sharp, that right hand was cocked, kept Pacquiao second guessing, partly because Pacquiao's a bit cautious of a right hand that sharp because he's got knocked out of one that he didn't see come in, even though he probably didn't feel like the power of Floyd was that, but he probably didn't feel like the power of Marquez could knock him out, so that's always going to play on his mind a little bit. So that's why Pacquiao was cautious. So because everybody, by I mean everybody, every media outlet and every professional fighter that talked about it, they all expected Pacquiao to start off fast and Floyd to come back and break it. No, I didn't hear anybody. So if anybody listening to this wants to claim that they didn't see it like that, all that bullshit, whatever, go watch every video of people breaking it down. They all claim that Pacquiao was going to come out fast. When that didn't happen, it drew a perception of things. It drew like Floyd is in control, and I understand that. That's why I give Floyd the second round, because you just had to, because of the imprint it left on your mind that first round. Even though, when you look at it closely, Pacquiao actually adjusted to Floyd. He adjusted to them tactics of Floyd. And he was trying to draw the lead off Floyd to counter Floyd. He was boxing Floyd. He don't get credit for that. So how can somebody get credit for ring generalship and be in total control of the fight when you're getting drawn to throw a counter, then Pacquiao counters him and jumps in and goes to unleash, and you grab on like a motherfucker. You grab on like you're drowning. That kind of shitting themselves, holding, pushing his head down, clutching for dear life. You got the referee, Kenny Bayless, who, I don't mind if you're a referee that doesn't like holding, then you're going to do that every time you ref, right? Yeah, so if that's your style and then you're in charge of that fight and you stay true to that style, that's fair enough. But Kenny Bayless, let me start with this motherfucker. Wasn't he the same referee every time that Maidana clinched with Floyd, jumped in before he anticipated the initiation of a clinch, where he was jumping in ready to separate even before they clinched, and they didn't clinch and he had to jump back out of the way? That guy was breaking them so quick because he knew that Maidana didn't mind Floyd clinching with him, because as soon as Floyd had clinched with him, Maidana just beat him up because he's much stronger than him. Pacquiao's not that big, he's smaller than Floyd. When Floyd clinches him, he can't wrestle out of that and start hitting him like Maidana could. So Bayless was protecting Floyd's ass. Simple as that. So at least when you come to do Pacquiao Floyd, you ref in the same way. But he didn't, did he? He refed in the way that suited Floyd Mayweather again. He allowed Floyd to clutch, grab hold. MMA shit, man. What were we like, getting points for fucking grappling or something? Pushing his head down, fucking holding on, pushing the elbow in. Again, all that Floyd has done in his career, he's got away with it again. So Kenny Bayless should have stayed true to his form and done exactly what he did in the Maidana rematch, but didn't. Proved that he was reffing that fight for Floyd Mayweather. Simple as. So, let me go back to another thing. Tony Weeks, one of the best referees in the game. Probably the best referee in the game. Right, Vladimir Klitschko fights. We all moan about how boring they are. So let's see why the Pulev fight was so exciting. If you go back, watch round 1 of Pulev, Vladimir Klitschko gets 2 warnings in the first minute in that fight. Don't hold. Weeks made that fight a fight by seeing what was involved in that fight and making it making the negative go away, so we had a clean fight. And look what happened with the best Klitschko fight in a long time, because we had a strong, decent ref. Because ref in fights, you've got to allow a fight to take its natural conclusion to the benefit of both fighters and the benefit of making a great fight. It means you got to sort of like, you got to ref the situation in front of you in the right way. So Maidana Floyd fight, one of the best Floyd fights we've seen in ages. Actually, as much as I criticise Floyd, he showed some bad heart going into them corners, and he looked fucking despondent, and he was feeling sorry for himself, getting beaten up in them early rounds. But he come back and he showed great spirit and great body shots, even though it was a close ass fight, but one of the best fights we've seen for ages. And Floyd moans about all that dirty shit after the fight, and all you Flomos and Floyd followers who recycle the same garbage and bullshit agreed with him and shouted it off and called him a foul. So what the fuck? So you cannot, so you're going to criticise Maidana for all his foul play, even though Floyd did exactly the same sort of shit in that fight, and we criticise him for allowing a natural conclusion to a fight to take place, which was a clean, decent fight that we all enjoyed, one of the most exciting Floyd fights for years. And now you're going to give Floyd a pass for doing his bullshit, and you're going to give him points for ring generalship for doing fuck all, landing the odd clean shots, but he wasn't in control of that ring because he was grappling on for dear life and fouling Manny Pacquiao. Right. So, we got damage. I see round 3 Manny Pacquiao, even round 2, in my opinion. Floyd on the skip did a couple in round 2 with like nice counter left hooks and stuff, but round 3 Manny Pacquiao won that round for me. He was drawing the leads from Floyd. It was looking as though some right hands and jabs for Floyd were landing, but they weren't. The peekaboo style of Manny Pacquiao was catching them, but he don't get credit for that because he's walking onto them shots. So Floyd Mayweather, who is blatantly getting hit and is being forced to react into certain situations by Manny Pacquiao, is not in complete control of what he's doing. That's fact. That's not ring generalship. If you're flying all over the place but your man's missing and you're reacting to everything your man's doing, that's not ring generalship. If you're in control and you're walking backwards and you're jabbing and you're offsetting your man and all that and you're in control, that's the only way you can win rounds, by being defensive. And you've got to be landing clean shots and making him pay every time he comes in. He wasn't making Manny Pacquiao pay every time he comes in at all because he barely hit Manny Pacquiao. Now, the same guys want to dispute CompuBox numbers in certain fights, and even Floyd Maidana one fight and shit like that, are the same guys that are trying to stick to this bullshit in this fight, because it's certain things give an impression. And that is the wrong impression. All the commentators and all sorts were so drawn in by the failure of Pacquiao to implement the game plan they all thought was going to go down. But no, that was never going to go down. It was always going to be a boxing match like that, in my opinion, especially at this stage of their careers. Because Pacquiao was never going to be reckless and wild with Floyd shot right like that. So, round 4 is a big round for Pacquiao. Round 5, I would swing it to Floyd. Round 6, a massive round for Pacquiao. Close competitive round, but all the damage was done by Pacquiao. So it was a close round with Pacquiao outlanded a little bit more. Close round, but all the damage was done by Pacquiao. So when we fight for damage. Right, so going into round 7, yeah, I give that to Floyd. Round 8, I give to Pacquiao. Round 9 and 10, I give to Pacquiao. 8 was a very close round, but it was Pacquiao's round. Outlanded, and it was the better shots. And he was the one pushing Floyd, in control of that ring. There's only one round by the time it got to round 11, and a lot of Floyd's holding tactics earlier on in the fight, and I bring in the shoulder could have been coming into play. He started to slow down a little bit towards the end. Pacquiao's not used to being grappled like that. I hadn't rarely seen Pacquiao being in grappling contests by a bigger man in the way that Floyd did in the early on. And that's going to fatigue you a little bit, especially at this stage of Pacquiao's career. And also, anybody that has sports-related injuries, so I know you lot of you Floyd fans, or you lazy motherfuckers that don't do any sport, never done no boxing, never done no fucking American football, never done no soccer, never done no real physical exercise, yeah, where you put your body through it, yeah. You wouldn't know what it's like to have an injury going into a fight or into a match. And you got a problem that's been on beforehand, and then you go and you aggravate it. You're all right, you're hurting at first, it's hurting as you're throwing or you're kicking or you're running, but then you sort of get into it and you're doing more damage to your body, but then slowly as you start getting towards the end of the match or end of the fight or whatever, it starts getting sore. That's the simple fact of the matter if that's the case. So at some point midway through that fight, his arm's going to be getting fucking sore. It's going to slow him down a bit. Why would you discredit a champion that's actually for all comers? Pacquiao's the one who campaigned for this fight. If Pacquiao says he's injured and he had a bad shoulder injury, why you mock that? Simple fact of the matter is, if Manny Pacquiao would have pulled out of that fight, gone and had his shoulder injury, asked Floyd to fight again in 7 months' time, that fight would have never ever happened. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao would have been no more. Pacquiao would have got blamed. The guy had to take that fight, otherwise it was now or never. Simple. The same guys would have been bitching about him left, right and centre. Why? How could he have not taken that fight? Floyd would have used that as an excuse never to fight and discredit him for his whole life. That would have been his get out clause. Me personally, I think Manny Pacquiao won that fight. That fight was a close fight. That Manny Pacquiao was the aggressor, landed the cleanest shots, and he had the ring generalship in every round of that fight, except for 1, 10, and 1, 11, and 12. And 12, Floyd ran away, you know, and that cost fighters like Oscar De La Hoya in the past, and many names have run away thinking they're cruising it in the last, and they do their victory dance, victory run, and then they fuck it, and they lose the fight because of it. And that should have happened to Floyd in that case, because he shouldn't have been victory dancing for nothing, because he was not in control of that fight at all. That was a Manny Pacquiao victory in my eyes. UK boxing bloggers got nothing more to say on this subject, but I'm just going to keep it like this for now. But I know you Manny Pacquiao fans out there, and real boxing fans, know what Floyd's been like to the sport. Needs to disappear off into the sunset, fight Manny Pacquiao again, or go up and fight Triple G, man. Look, man, all these bitches out there now are going to say, no, he's too big for Triple G, or Triple G has only got a puncher's chance, or something like that bullshit. Man, Floyd Mayweather, Triple G will demolish Floyd, but Floyd should fight. If it's good enough for Oscar De La Hoya, going from super featherweight all the way up to middleweight, fighting Felix Sturm, a young middleweight champion, and Bernard Hopkins, one of the greatest middleweight champions who ever did it. If Oscar can go and do shit like that, Oscar can fight a Manny Pacquiao in the height of his powers at the end of his career and give away concessions even though he's the A side. What does that tell you, the difference between the two? Oscar De La Hoya, for me, will always rank higher than Floyd Mayweather, because he's always took on the greatest challenges, the biggest, the Tito Trinidads, the fucking Shane Mosleys, the greatest fighters of their era, man. Even your Toro Gattis and fucking Chavez, even at the end of his career, man. Oscar De La Hoya, the Whitakers, he's done it all, man. He fights everybody. Vargas, man, when he was meant to kill him at light middleweight, like, let's not go there. Oscar De La Hoya has been to the well, and he went and took Pacquiao on his last fight like a fucking psychopath, man. The guy is a proper fighter. That guy went up to middleweight, so why the fuck can't Floyd? Why are we supporting a cherry picker like that, in my opinion, to be the greatest of all time? He needs to stop wearing them fucking stupid t-shirts, man, because he's fucking just absolute ridiculous, man. He's not even close, man. He's not even better than Manny Pacquiao in resume. Manny Pacquiao has took on way more challenges. Let's just forget this guy's come from flyweight, motherfucker. This guy is much smaller. This guy would have destroyed Floyd in his prime. And before you say that, well, he couldn't beat Floyd. No. Floyd ran, man. Floyd had the chance to prove that he could have beaten Pacquiao in 2009, 2010 when they're in their prime, but Floyd chose to run. Fuck all the drug tests. If a real fighter would have just took them kind of challenges on, man. Plenty of guys throughout boxing history, legendary fights that we don't even know about, fought guys that were taking drugs back in the day, and they then went in there and did it, man. Guys in UFC have fought TRT guys and fight guys on steroids all the fucking time. They go in there and do it. They don't care. Not saying that's right, but Pacquiao's never been caught for drugs, never been a drug cheater, nothing, never been associated with anything that could be classed as that, nothing. And he's been surrounded by a lot of people who could have easily grassed him up, never has done. So I just don't see any of that talk, man. UK Boxing Blogger, all my fans, man, anybody who feels the same as me on this, make a video response or hit me up, man. We'll have a good conversation about this. We'll do a hangout or something. UK Boxing Blogger out.